Hello everyone, I have got a Tarot and Oracle collective reading for December 21st, 2025. So I'm going to ask these cards really quick. Can we tune into the collective field? Is there anything this collective needs to know? Is there any kind of energy that will be supported for this collective? What's going on? So this is the Divine Abundance Oracle deck. I'm now asking it to tap into our collective field here. Can I get some messages from Spirit for the collective energies going on right now? Can I get a card, please? Quickly, Spirit. Is there anything that they need to know? What's going on in the collective? What's going on in the collective? What's going on in the collective? What does the collective need help or support on? Let's take a little bit more. Got right now was the first card here. And it says, stay in the present and don't get too far ahead of the flow. You'll soon trust that nothing more will come than can be handled each moment. So actually from this right now, I'm sensing like staying centered. So remaining calm in the midst of like Christmas season chaos. Actually, that's what I'm picking up on. So like all of the hustle bustle of the holiday season. So instead of like getting sucked into that energetically where you feel anxious or panicky or overworked or overstressed, instead kind of finding your inner center to just stay present and not be in that panic energy, not be in that restless energy. So instead of having like peace inside. Sacrifice is our next card here that came out in this group, and it says, sometimes surrender is painful. God's cutting away all that needs to go. Illusions, obsessions, addictions. It's a sacrifice to love. Yeah, actually, so I think that's a pretty clear follow-up on the last card there. I think that's saying cutting away all that needs to go. Illusions, obsessions, addictions. So that is kind of like that attachment to the holiday plans, to the holiday celebrations, and those kinds of outward ways of attempting to celebrate or just have activity. But, you know, maybe they're not actually, it can produce, instead of a deepening spirituality, a celebration of the season, it can instead just produce like, oh, here's another thing that we have to do in the world to satisfy some standard that is set by someone. And maybe that's not for you, because it's illusion if participating it actually destroys or deteriorates your inner peace. So there's kind of a balance point there, if that makes sense. Then our next card that we got here is Outrageous Openness. So let me read that now. Dear love, open me to your will. Release me from my attachments. Yeah, that's a follow-up. Surprise and delight me with your plan. You know what's needed, and I am open to receive. Interesting. So that's just more, I'm sensing that there's something else that wants to connect on this card's energy. And let's just take the first layer of it, other than the second layer, which hasn't opened up yet. But that first layer was just kind of confirming deeper on that like attachment to the ideas of self-worth or needing to do something outward, a celebration, the holiday hustle bustle, detaching a little bit from that restlessness if you feel called to do so, and especially if you've noticed that it is destructive to your inner peace and harmony. Okay, so what are our last few cards? I would expect at this point that they start to attach to the deeper layers here. There's something else opening up. So our next card here is Expansiveness. And this says, eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. And that went under the right now with the Buddha meditating. So I almost feel like that's a call to return towards spirit in meditation. So eternity is far more creative than your exhausted ego. So your ego in outward involvement becomes restless, the ego in particular, not the soul. And if you are engaging in that outward involvement and finding yourself experiencing anxiety and less peace and harmony, you know that's because the ego is becoming more involved and the soul is not able to balance that out. So I feel like this card is a call to step back into your soul center so that that peace and harmony and divine connection can come forward again and restabilize you. And maybe with this Outrageous Openness card here, it says, open me to your will. So that's God's will with a capital Y, it says here on the card. Release me from my attachments, my plans, the ego, holiday celebration, whatever that is. Surprise me and delight me with your, capital Y again, plan. So that's God. You, capital Y, of course, is the beginning of the sentence. Know what's needed, and I am open to receive. So maybe ask God in meditation too, like what does he want you to do as far as celebrations and plans right now for the season? Maybe it's not what you thought. And maybe if he has a plan, it could be one that would bring more happiness and joy and lightness and even peace and harmony towards the season and its celebrations, rather than hustle bustle standard possible just typical kind of involvements. So then I'm seeing here our next card that I've got here. There's two. Whoops, oh, that one really fell out. That's okay. So that's kind of emphasized. So then this says energetic clearing. So what is energetic clearing about? During crises, the Holy One herself may be emptying you of fear and attachments, preparing you to receive her luminous plan. Interesting. So that's emphasizing the anxiety again and saying once again, like releasing attachments, releasing attachments, releasing attachments. That's come out in like 3 of the cards here. And then receiving her luminous plan. So the divine's luminous plan, that's been emphasized here as well. So like reconnecting with that. So it almost sounds like Spirit really wants to tell you something in meditation or during these kind of holiday seasons. And you won't be able to hear it if you're restless. So you'll have to get quiet. So, and I feel like that's what Spirit is really calling you to. Like, how do you protect your peace right now? And is what you're already doing bringing peace? Hello, yes or no? Interesting. And then our final card here, that, oh, what a beautiful image. I love the art on this. It's receiving. And this here says, every day it becomes easier to receive the highest divine plan and to trust my inner guidance. Okay, so I feel like that's also suggesting that this is more of an ongoing process. That it's a start of a deeper spiritual call for you. And right now it might just begin because the seasonal panic, restlessness is disturbing your peace. And when you find that in connection to God, possibly through a meditation practice, if that's something you do or are feeling called to do, if and when you start that and you find the divine peace beginning to flood your body and your spirit, you might find a new addiction. And so Spirit's almost saying, we're going to keep calling you, and it's going to be a furthering development almost into initiation of what it means to live a more divinely guided life, a more peaceful life, a more centered life, one that is removed from all of this kind of worldly restlessness almost in a way. This is kind of an initiation gateway energy is what I'm sensing. So if that resonates, that's for someone, or maybe several someones out there. So it sounds like God's calling. Can you hear the phone ringing? And can you feel it quietly somewhere in the subtle ether? And if you can, what's your choice? Are you going to pick up the phone? Totally up to you, of course. Because that's God's wonderful, strange free will as part of his own plan. But are you feeling the call, and will you answer? So is there anything else that I can get here from the tarot that would support this collective? Is there anything else that would be of use here? I'm sensing something about you know what to do. You can feel the possibility for joy and peace in your heart. You know what to do. Well, there's also a self-acceptance there too. But it's not attached even, because this is the divine, I think, saying like about you right now. It's like, it's not even attached to if you want to say no. It's like, okay, go say no. But at the same time, it's whispering of other possibilities. That's what I'm sensing. So I got some cards that fell out over here. I'm seeing the 7 of Swords, but let's take these 2 that fell out first. What do we have here? Queen of Wands. You know what to do. Your intuition says exactly what the direction to move is. It's a perfect card for that. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Withdrawing from community, hustle, bustle, possibly. Let me see if I can feel into that. Is there a deeper layer there? What is it trying to say with that? I'm almost feeling a criticism, and I hate to call this out this way, but this is kind of just what is coming through me, possibly, and just, I don't know. I'm, can only be as open as my own channel allows me to be, right? So this is what I can give you guys. But what I'm feeling is there's almost like this kind of like, is the outward celebration really the way that you get inside the church and commune? And so I'm almost feeling like there's a withdrawal of your energy from the traditional involvement in order to find the deeper calling of spirit and to actually understand a deeper level of what that's about. So again, I feel like that's the call to go inward in meditation, to connect with spirit in that way, and like that withdrawal of energy. So then what are your obstacles? 7 of Swords, maybe. And so maybe that's the expectation. Guilt. If I go off and do this, am I being selfish? Oh, something about maybe a family obligation. So you feel that if you withdraw from pressure that you're feeling energetically or even just mentally from people that you have obligations with, or that they are putting obligations on you for, you feel that if you withdraw from that or resist or remove yourself from that energy or influence, even if it would protect your own peace, but you would feel guilty about it. Page of Swords. What's the right thing to do? New ways, even if it hasn't been treaded before. It's a new path. Also, freedom of choice. You're free to do what you want. You can be restless and do things that will bring you restlessness if that's what you want, or you can do other things if that's what you want too. A self-respect. Enough to even say, hey, if my choice is to do something else and you're not going to like it, I have the freedom to do that still. Or maybe I don't want to do that yet, and I would rather do this with you. And even if it makes me upset, I can choose that, and maybe it won't. So then you can just choose and do it. And, either way, you'll find out. Judgment in reverse. Why? 12:21 on the counter when I was just breathing in, trying to center yourself. So that would be 1, 2, 2, 1. I'm almost feeling like a little bit of a doom energy. Like the box is closing in. So I'm feeling that would be people applying energetic and like mental energy manipulations, possibly against you trying to withdraw if that's what you wanted to do. So they're trying to like guilt trip you. Yes. And the energy of that is not something that you feel comfortable naturally currently to either resist or overcome. So you fear that they're doing a guilt trip on you is almost certain, which I won't say if it is or not, but possibly. I mean, you would know, right? If you've had that experience before, you kind of know if these people would have this behavior if you tried to do something else and they wouldn't like it and they put that on you. And you fear that when they do it, you're going to collapse. And so your psychology is almost saying like, it would be easier to just go with the flow now so that I don't have to face that pain of their judgments. But there's something here about developing personal strength. What do they want me to say about that? Because I could say what I think, but what do you want me to say, Spirit? So what came out here? Magician in reverse. That makes sense. You're just denying yourself your own creative potential. Caging yourself into the energy and whims of others, even if it's not what you feel called to do or what you want to do. So there's developing independence and sovereignty here. And so, like, even if those judgment pressures are going to come, if you chose to withdraw your energy to find peace, because that seems to be what the potential's on the board here. It's either that or engaging with them and being restless and upset because it didn't work out like you wanted. So which one? And so if you wanted to try to withdraw yourself and you succumbed to the energetic manipulations or guilt trips, and we're not able to overcome that, which no judgment, it's a process, then magician in reverse, it would be denying your own creative potential, your own creative agency, and your own planning, like your own power to have willpower and manifest, and say, denying your own inner voice too. Like, that's like a self-betrayal. Yeah. Is there anything else you want me to tell the collective about that? And how would you feel about that if you asked yourself that question? Like, are you okay with that self-betrayal? Like, if you can see that that's there, are you okay with that once you actually see it? If you do see it, if it is true for you that you see that there, if you feel that resonating, how do you feel about that? And if maybe I'm just thinking here, like, if you don't feel okay with that, then that might be a sign that it's time to develop some more decisiveness for yourself, to direct your own energy and make your own choices, and then have a strength that you build gradually to actually have those things happen. And possibly right now Spirit is suggesting that something that would help you would be kind of like spiritual communion through withdrawal a little bit. It's almost like hermit energy. So we got a bunch of tarot that fell out here. So let's just see if we can go through this for final messages. Let's see what came out. Knight of Wands and Eight of Cups. Yeah, because that's what I was feeling too, even with the Knight of Wands. Should I go there or should I go elsewhere? Making up my mind. Where do I go? And Eight of Cups, walking away. I feel like that's kind of the alternative path that Spirit is really bringing forward right now, almost suggesting that this might work out better for you. And of course, use your own discernment on that. And you make your own choices. That's just what I'm sensing. It doesn't have to be true for you. And then I've got the Devil in reverse here. So that's literally kind of makes total sense. Conquering the devil, if that's what you wanted to do, overcome those peer pressures, the guilt trips, and just break free. So that would be Knight of Wands choosing to walk away with Eight of Cups versus Knight of Wands choosing to go back towards the devil. It would just keep you trapped and you wouldn't walk away because you'd still be where you were. So you wouldn't find that new place yet. So anyways, and then what else do we have here? Page of Wands in reverse. Not feeling strong enough yet to make that decision. So feeling like a novice at this, totally, yeah, possibly. I just say, be gentle with yourself, like no judgment. And maybe that's something you're going to have to work on if that's a choice that you wanted to make. But it also just kind of feels like maybe Spirit is moving you in initiation in that direction anyway. So you're eventually going to be, and right now you are being asked to learn more about developing self-strength, self-guided willpower to make your own choices or something like that. Page of Pentacles. Childhood wounds. It's going to make you feel like you're withdrawn from your family love, stable family, quote, quote, stable, real family relationships, things that are familiar that you've known for years and years and years, because you might want to make a different choice to withdraw a little bit. And King of Pentacles in reverse. What's that about? Determination. Why? Why are you telling me determination? Deciding if you want to develop the power to have your own determination to determine what will be the reality that is yours, that you will create. So do you want to have that power or not? And not in like a manipulative way or like an ego dominance way, hopefully, but just saying like, these energies could hold you back from developing self-movement, self-direction, that would let you create what you want to do, what your voice is saying, what your calling is. I just saw 2002 on the counter as I said that. And so that's just the Magician and Page of Pentacles energy kind of confirmed there. So I think you kind of get the gist here. So it's kind of sounds like just a little bit of a decision point here. So the tarot kind of got into the psychology a little bit, and the oracle cards kind of went back to the very beginning. So non-attachment, breaking those attachment bonds, the Seven of Swords, guilt tripping, family connection probably might be where that's coming from. And then the deeper initial energy was spirit itself calling you towards something new. And it felt like maybe calling you towards spiritual communion, finding a withdrawal into peace and a detachment from energies that pull you into too much hecticness that you are not able to remain calm in, that maybe isn't comfortable for you, that maybe isn't even what you want to do or isn't what you would prefer. Then other layers that presented themselves would be that you might have a tendency or desire to just stay in the old energy pattern because it's familiar and would require less disappointment of other people and less of that energy projected at you. It wouldn't require confronting that, so it might feel easier to just go with that flow, but yet at the same time, there's a self-betrayal there, and that's a certain amount of pain. And so then at a certain point, the balance is, do I want the pain of self-rejection or other rejection? And if I even do take the pain of self-rejection just to please the other people, at some point that I will begin to realize that that's also blocking my own power developing, so that I make my own decisions, so that I have my own creative potential, so that I go where my own voice is calling me, regardless of outside chatter from other people. And if I don't ever develop that, or I delay it, then that blocks Magician and King of Pentacles, where I create my own reality space, my own abundance, my own life. So that's what I'm seeing here today, you guys. Let me know if that resonates in the comments, and you can give this video a like if it helped you, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. And I'm wishing you guys a ton of peace and joy and love and discernment and intuition on these messages. So just, use your own intuition on this. I'm not advising anything except for what spirit kind of gives me to suggest is what it senses. But, at the end of the day, these are your own decisions to make. So with full respect of that, I offer it out to you guys. And I'm wishing you all so much love and joy. Goodbye, you guys.